Hey IY, if you're interested in our Apprentices experience, but you have no idea what it's all about, well, this is the video for you. The goal of Apprentices is to help you draw close to Jesus and close to us, Asha and I, as your youth pastors. We want to mentor you to follow Jesus more closely. But let me give you the biblical basis for why this is important and why we want you to do this. We see throughout the Gospels that Jesus calls us to follow him. He wants everyone to become disciples of him. And just like the disciples in the Gospel, Jesus wants us to grow and mature by taking on the mindset of an apprentice. Now, we're using the word apprentice because it's the best modern day equivalent that we have to understand what a disciple actually was. An apprentice is actually a learner, not an expert. And a learner learns by coming under the help of a master. And so by committing to this apprentices program, we're actually looking to teach a mindset that Jesus wants us to have when we are following him. Just like the disciples leave their nets and follow Jesus, we want to maybe lay down some old mindsets or some old things that are not helpful and take on a new mindset to be able to follow Jesus more closely. So that's one of the goals, to follow Jesus more closely. But the second is to actually grow closer to us, your youth pastors. We want to live like Jesus' disciples, like we see in the Bible, that once Jesus ascends to heaven, when he resurrects, that the disciples then go out and they look to make disciples themselves. We, as your youth pastors, want to be involved in your walk with God. We want to help you. And we feel like now is a great time to draw closer to you and to help you to follow Jesus more closely as well. Now, in addition to that relationship, to be completely transparent with you, as youth pastors, we want to find our future youth leaders as well. We are looking to obey God's word when it encourages us as pastors to train and equip God's people for ministry and for future work. We're looking to build up a group of young people who are sincerely passionate about following Jesus, and that passion of following Jesus is eventually going to lead you to serving other people and helping them mature in their own walk as well. And if this is something that's on your heart, if you desire one day maybe to take the baton from your youth leaders and become a youth leader yourself, then Apprentices is a great first step to prepare your heart potentially for a future of leading young people or leading in some other ministry in the future. The people that we need as our future youth leaders, first of all, have a growing and close relationship with Jesus. This is the foundation of a youth leader for us. So we're hoping to set this foundation in your life if that's something that you desire. Now, also to clear up as well, Apprentices is not forcing you to become a youth leader. You might do this and realize that you're called to something else, or that we've simply set a foundation for a lifelong of following Jesus. That's cool to us as well. This is not just for future youth leaders. This is for people who want to grow closer to Jesus and closer to us. So some of the big questions that you could be able to answer if Apprentices is the thing that you want to do. Well, if your answer is yes to these questions, do you want to grow closer to Jesus? Would you like to grow closer in relationship to us as your youth pastors? And do you maybe have it in your heart one day to help other young people or other people in general at uni or at work grow closer to Jesus? If you've answered yes to any or all of those, then Apprentices is 100% the kind of person that we want to do this Apprentices program. Apprentices has a few main features. In the term, we're planning to have 2, I'm going to call them impartation meetups on a Friday night. Well, what is impartation? When somebody imparts something, we're looking to share something that we have with you and to give it to you to use. That's what it means to impart. We're going to read the Bible together. We're going to read maybe some other things that people have written about following Jesus closely, and we're going to talk about it. And we're hoping that through the discussion and through the things that we lead, we impart something that's going to help you to follow Jesus more closely. We're also going to have 2 catch-up meetings on a Sunday. These are going to be less classroom-based like the impartation meetings and more living room-based. We're looking to see, honestly, how we've grown from the last time that we've met. Now, also, there's a reason why we're putting it on a Sunday, because we believe that following Jesus closely means being together with the generational church. Youth is great because there are all young people there, but Sundays are the place where all the generations come together in our pursuit of following Jesus. And so we very deliberately want to have at least a couple of Sundays where we together, as apprentices all on the same journey, go to church together and be together, meet some new people, hear some great teaching, and have a great night in God's presence. The final thing we'll do are challenges. So we'll have the impartation meeting and we'll leave you with some challenges that you can choose to do or choose to not do. Some of these challenges will be people-based challenges. Some of them will be reading challenges or prayer challenges. Some of them will just be straight up life challenges or helping someone challenges. We're looking to take what we've learned and actually put it into practice. And you can choose to do as many or as little of these challenges as you desire or as you have time for. Once we have a couple of weeks to do those challenges, we'll then come for the Sunday catch-up and just see how we're doing, see what we've learned, and see what we've done. And then it'll all start again in a couple of weeks' time with another impartation meeting, some challenges, and a catch-up. Now, what happens if you can't make a meeting, or if you just can't make it out, or you've got an assessment due the next day? Nothing at all. We want you to see this as a resource that you can grab and something that you can do. It's not a school thing. It's not Jesus' school. This is not homework that we're looking to set for you. This is simply us opening our hearts to you, looking to impart something to you, and you can take whatever you can and whatever you need. We will challenge you to do the challenges because challenges obviously help us grow. But we also want you to take ownership of your faith and your walk in Jesus. This is not about us forcing you to do anything. This is actually about you following Jesus and you drawing close to Him. So if there's anything that we can offer, then we are willing to share it with you, and we hope that you grow from it. The topic for the first term has the theme learning from Jesus. Now, it's really all about looking into the Bible to see what kind of mindset Jesus wants us to have when we are following Him. Now, the challenges, I'm not going to tell you what they are. You'll find them out when you are challenged to do them. Now, we see apprentices as something that we do for multiple years on a term-by-term basis. Some may want to do it for a term and then take a break. Some may really enjoy it and want to keep doing it with us. We sort of want to add on and go at the pace of the people that we're doing it with. We don't want to rush things. Apprentices learn things over time. They don't just do it quickly and then they've got the skills and abilities to do the job that they're doing. We're hoping that if you're keen to do this, you'll do this, you'll commit to it, for a term. And after you do that first term, you will decide whether this is something that you want to continue to do. And we think it's really going to be worth your while. We know the end of school with HSC is a huge deal. You all have heaps of goals, you've all got heaps of aspirations. But we also know that Jesus doesn't want us to put our faith on hold for 2 years while we dip into some chemistry or some maths. Jesus wants us to put our faith in Him, not in the God of Nessa. Now you can trust us as well as your youth pastors that we actually really want you to succeed in your HSC goals. We're not looking to add burdens on top of burdens. We're actually looking to release some burdens by encouraging you to follow Jesus more closely and to be in closer relationship with us. We see Apprentices not as an obstacle to whatever goal you have in these final years of your school. We actually see it as a support system, something that's actually going to help you to continue on the calling that God has for you in these HSC years. And for our younger crew who are not currently doing their HSC or in year 11 and 12 at the moment, but are still really eager to learn to follow Jesus more closely, well, we want this to be, again, a support network for you to prepare yourself for these next coming years where you mature into young adults and you transition out of school and into the adult world. We think that if the heart is there, that there's a desire to learn and grow from Jesus, then Apprentices will be perfect for you. Just to finish this video up, can I just ask you through the screen that you're watching right now, one maybe challenging question. What anxieties do you have towards doing Apprentices? You wouldn't have watched this video all the way to the end if you didn't have an interest in following Jesus more closely or getting closer to us as your youth pastors. Whatever your anxieties are, let me give you some words from Jesus and think about how these words might apply to the anxieties that you have at this stage of your life. Jesus says this, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." You know, whenever we choose to commit to follow Jesus more closely, this is the promise that He has for you. Following some people carries burdens, but Jesus comes alongside you and He wants to carry your burdens with you. Whatever anxiety you have, if that's a burden to you, take the words of Jesus to heart here, that Jesus wants to help you to carry your burdens at this stage of your life and for the rest of your life. And for us as your youth pastors, we want to, as we follow Jesus and He carries our burdens, we want to come alongside you as well and help you to carry your burdens in this very significant stage of your life. Do Apprentices. Do it with us. We're keen to have you. We want you to do it. We want to hear where you're at, and whatever we can do to help relieve any stress or anxiety or fear that you have about this being a burden to you, please let us know. But do this with us.